and just kind of for people who this is your first time joining us for a Relationship Friday, let me talk a little bit about what we do on Relationship Friday. We discuss and we talk all things relationships. This is adult conversation. So we do talk about sex. We talk, I mean, anything connected to a relationship, we will be talking about it. So, if this is your first time joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And if you are a returning individual, thank you for supporting and staying in here with us. All right. So, we're talking about how to stay safe, sex, dating, relationship for our college age students. Now, this is important. And I kind of wanted, I was going to name it 5 things I wish I knew when I was in college, right? Because there are a lot of times we are on campus. This is our first time away from home, and nobody has really prepared us for what we are in store for, right? No one has really prepared us for what it's like to be out here. So I want to kind of break down, just kind of talk about that. I also want to hear from y'all. What are, and I'll that'll be our first poll question. What's one thing that you wish somebody had shared with you, kind of prepared you for when it came to dating, sex, relationship when you got on the college campus? What's one thing? I want to hear that. Y'all throw that in a poll. What's one thing you wish somebody had told you about before they threw you out here to the wolves? And what's important to know is there are rules. Like, I want to be very clear on these college campuses. There are grown men that are out here. They're also grown women. So I want to put it equally across the board. So I'm talking to everybody, but I'm going to hone in on the women just for right now. So we'll start there. So, what's one thing you wish someone had warned you about, told you about, or prepared you for when it came to college, to sex, to dating, to relationships in the college arena? I want to know, and y'all throw that in the comments. Put it in the comments. We're going to talk about it. So the first thing that I want to just kind of paint the picture is for our kids that are on campus, and they're not kids. So let me just kind of change my wording, my languaging. For our young adults that are entering into the college life. Yes, this is an exciting time. You're going to meet all kinds of new people. It's fun. It's exciting. At the same time, you're going to have a lot more freedom to come and go, to do like you want to do, and that might catch you off guard. So I want to kind of talk and prepare you for this life, what to do to stay safe and to be responsible out here in these college streets, because it's easy to get caught up. It's easy to be a statistic. It's easy to get caught up. And so I want to do my part to share information and to kind of help you navigate the scene, the college scene. So you're on campus. If you're on campus, let me start there. If you're on campus, you got a dorm, you got a roommate. For some, I think all freshmen have roommate. If not, maybe you don't. But at the end of the day, you're not at your parents' house. So there is a lot more freedom. So you can come and go. And for some people, that just goes to your head. You're like, wait a minute, I can do whatever I want to do. Yes, that can be very invigorating. At the same time, it can make you lose your mind, your ever-loving mind. So I want to make sure that y'all aren't losing your minds, and that you're still enjoying yourself, but that you're being safe. So the first thing I want to kind of put out there is, you don't know these people. Let's just start there. Your roommate or people that you meet first, week, 2, 3 weeks, you don't know these people. So don't act as if you do. What I mean by that is not allowing your guard to get so low that you make poor decisions, right? You, yeah, you my roommate, but I just met you. So what I'm not fitting to do is to be gallivanting 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning with you. Where we going? What we doing? Like, right? So being safe in that way, right? So before we even get to the sex, dating, and relationship, I kind of want to talk just basic safety. If you are going to go places, right? There are going to be some parties, there are going to be events, things like that that you want to go to. You might want to go out to the club or something like that, if you're even old enough to go to the club. But you may want to go out. When it comes to going out, go with a group. Like, don't just be going out by yourself, walking the campus 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. No, let's not do that. Buddy system. Like, that's, to me, that's common sense, but it may not be, right? So we want to just kind of put that out there. Like, that's basic of staying safe before we even get into sex, dating, and relationship in college. Doing things like that, going out with a group. If you have a vehicle, most freshmen don't have a vehicle, but if you do have a vehicle, yeah, we're taking my vehicle. That way you're able to leave, come and go. Like, if you get uncomfortable in a situation, you can leave when you want to leave. You're not waiting around or hoping that, the person you came with is going to leave, because they may not. Like I said, you don't know them and you don't know what they're into. So that's important. Like, kind of just be safe, go in numbers, the buddy system. Ladies, if y'all are going out, we all go out together, we all coming back together. Like, this whole, well, I met somebody while I'm here, so I'm gonna leave with them. Let's not do that. Sis, ladies, let's not do that. So that's number one, just the basics of safety. That's the first tip I want to kind of talk to you all about. It's just basic safety. Traveling, don't travel alone. If you don't know these people, don't go out of town with them. You don't know them yet. So don't know you. I got to get to know you just a little bit more before we're going to be doing some out of town traveling. If y'all do go out, go with who you came with, come back with who you went with. Meeting people is fine. Let me get your number, but I can't go with you just yet. I don't know yet. So that safety is important. Okay. So just thinking things through and coming up with a plan before you even go out. So having that conversation with your roommates or with whoever, so that everybody's on the same page. Things like that. Not going by yourself, not going out late, being aware of your surroundings, keeping your head on a swivel when y'all go out. Be aware of your surround. Put your cell phones down. Put them away. When you go out, when you hit that door, especially if it's at night, cell phones need to be away. Your hands need to be free, just in case we got to do something. So just being aware of your environment, just being able to kind of keep your head on a swivel, paying attention to your surrounding, is going to be important. Let somebody know where you're going. If by chance you have to go by yourself, make sure someone knows where you're going, how long you're planning to be, just a generalized amount of information, so that they can kind of be aware if you're gone. And the people you went with, they're back and they're like, well, where you at? And they're like, well, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? She was, so being safe in that regards is important. So that's tip number one. Tip number two. So this is us going now into the whole dating, into the whole sex component in relationships on campus. Now, let me paint the picture for you, and I'm just going to share my experience first. So when you are on these college campuses, I want you to be aware of who is likely to be there, who you are likely to come into contact with. You are going to come into contact with other freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, double, triple seniors, graduate students, teachers. And then there are going to be people there that don't even go there. depending on what school you're in. Some schools have like an open campus, and it's very easy for just other citizens just to be walking on campus, in the student union halls, it just depends on where you are. Okay. So depending on where you are and how your school is set up, it is a likelihood that you may encounter people who don't even go to your school that are adults. When I went to school, I was 17 years old. So I wasn't even an adult in college. And there were all kind of people like me. And then there were grown men that, you're in the Navy, you don't even go to the school. What you doing? And how can I help you? And they was like, well, how you doing? Right? So it's important to recognize that you may be coming from high school, right? And so the caliber, the type, the age range of people that you're used to, the mental level that you're used to, is going to be a lot different when you get on the college campus. So I want to talk a little bit about the G word, game. Okay. And not to make it derogatory, but I want to prepare our young ladies. So I'm talking to the ladies right now. So I want to kind of prepare our young ladies for approaches that may use, I guess men and women may use on them. So, number one, just to kind of be aware, you may be approached by grown, older men who are hip to the game, and you are fresh meat on campus. I know that sounds so horrible, but that's what it is. Like, that's what it is. You are the new fresh meat on campus, and I need you to be very much aware of that. Now, is that to say that every single gentleman that you run into on campus is out to game you, out to get in your drawers, is trying to seduce you, trying to have sex with you? No, that is not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying. However, you do need to be aware that there are those that is what they're trying to do. So I want you to be aware of that. Okay. Now, I'm just going to tell you where I'm coming from. If I could, I would tell everybody, don't have sex until you get married. That's what I would say. It cuts down on a whole lot of foolishness. You ain't got to worry about STD. You don't have to worry about unexpected pregnancy. You don't have to worry about being distracted while you're in school, because the whole reason you're in school is to do what? Let's get this education going, right? If I could, I mean, that's the camp I'm coming from. However, I am fully aware that at 17, 18, 19, you're interested in dating, you're looking to explore. I just want to help you be safe and make good choices and decisions as you are exploring. So I want you to be aware that you have individuals that are looking not to have relationships with you. They're not looking to get into a relationship. They are only looking to have sex. So you need to be aware of that. Okay. ATL is in the house. Hey, Richard, ATL is in the house. So listen, that's important to understand. And Richard, from the guy's perspective, I mean, am I lying? Right? I am trying to put these young ladies, these queens that are going into college campuses, these freshman females that are going into the college campus, I want them to know that some people, some men, are looking at them as fresh meat. And so I want to kind of prepare them for that. Not everybody's looking at them like that, but I want them to know that that is the reality, right? So I want you to just kind of be aware of that. Like, don't be naive. Everything that they tell you, okay, oh, you're so beautiful. Girl, you a queen. I know. Thank you. Thank you, right? You don't have to be mean, but understand that some of them are coming, they don't have good intentions. And I want you to be aware of that, especially if you're considering exploring the possibility of having sex. You just meeting these people, you don't know them. Protect yourself. Okay. So, tip number 2, protect yourself. Be aware of the fact that people that are out here, some of them are not looking for relationships. You may be, and they may say that they are. You got to be careful. Okay. Tip number 3. And I'm just pulling in from the comments real quick. Yes, some of the fresh meat are looking for fresh meat. Yes, yes. What is one and this is for any of the men that are in the audience. What is one and for the ladies, I want y'all to put this in here to answer this as well. Right. So for the ladies, what's one thing you wish someone had told you about before you went onto campus, in regards to relationships, dating, sex? And what is one line that now you look back on, or one approach or thing that a guy said that you was like, oh, that's what you're trying to do? That's how you coming at me? And for the fellas, what's the game that they out here trying to kick to our young ladies? Like, I want them to be prepared. I want them to kind of know what to be mindful of, what to look for. So put that in the comments, put that in the chat. Tip number 3, if you are going to engage in sex, which I don't want y'all to, I want you to be focused. I want you to be I want you to get in here and get this education going. That's just where I'm at. Sex can be a distraction. Because if you're not being protected when you're having sex, meaning using a condom, getting on birth control, you run the risk of STDs, you run the risk of pregnancy, and that'll mess you up. All of that'll mess you up if your goal is to finish school, right? Because now you're worried about your health. Now you're trying to make a decision of whether or not you're going to keep the baby, right? So that adds undue, unnecessary stress. And if you're having sex with men who are not trying to do something with you, understand that when you engage in sex, there are hormones and chemicals that are released that bond you to that person. So you in here trying to get your school on, and you're not able to focus. You just like, where he at? And he like, girl, I'm just playing. Thank you. So those are things you want to be thinking about. But number 3 is be safe. Get on birth control. Use condoms. For one of the things that you may be feeling pressured not to do is to use a condom. There are still nasty men out here trying to get you not to use a condom. You'll hear all different types of things, whether it doesn't feel good to use a condom. I don't use condoms. What you mean you don't? I'm just trying to understand what we doing. Are we being safe out here or no? We Russian rouletting it? So those are things you want to kind of think about. There is the pressure not to be safe. And there is the pressure at times where you may feel that you are doing too much if you talk about using a condom or any other kind of preventative method. So being aware of that, but be safe. If you are going to engage in sex, being safe. Let me go to the comments, and I'm loving the comments. Keep them coming. If you're just joining us, we are talking about staying safe. Our freshmen are going on to these college campuses, and there's a lot of information when it comes to sex, dating, and relationships that they may not be aware of. They may not have had conversations. You may not have been comfortable with it. They may not have wanted to hear it, but it is important for us to keep our kids safe. So we're talking about that on this Relationship Friday. Make sure you have prioritized your goals. Stay focused. Listen, that part right there. It's easy And I want to talk about that. That's a really good point, Richard. I'm glad you brought that up. I want to talk about that. It is very easy to get off track. When I went to school, my first year, I stayed on the second semester of the first year. I stayed on campus, and on campus, living on campus, it is easy to forget that you are there just for school. And I had to. It wasn't until the second year, and I got that warning. It was like, you keep playing around, you're gonna be on probation. I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is what I'm here for, is to go to school, living on campus, and the extra stuff, the people, the dating, the relationships, the parties, things like that. That's secondary, but it is very easy to get off track, especially if there's somebody that you're seeing. Because there's gonna be a lot of good looking men and women there on campus. Like, just know that, like, you know how you went to high school and you had maybe like 3 or 4 good looking men, guys there, 3 or 4 good looking girls, probably had more good looking girls than you had. But you had there was like a good solid 7 in my class. So in high school, you gotta, there's a few good looking people. On college, you get to college. There is going to, everywhere you look. And when I'm talking about good looking, I'm talking about, and they're going to be having their shirts off. Right? In high school, they don't have the shirts off. College, why you got your shirt off though? Like, why you walking around the yard with your shirt off? Like, I'm in here trying to study. There is going to be a lot of distractions. I'm just trying to warn you. I'm just trying to tell you what it's fitting to be like, right? So it is very easy to get off task. The other thing is, you are going to have some people that are going to college just to go to parties. They're not there to learn. They are not there to get their business and do what they got to do. Some of those people may be your roommates. Some of those people may be in your classes. So it's going to be very easy to hear them say, hey, let's go to this party. And you're like, yeah, but I got a test tomorrow morning. So you got to stay focused. And you may have a good looking guy and you might be interested in him. He like, yo, won't you come? Let me come to your room. Or especially these older guys, some of them that don't even go to school. Hey, come over to the spot. But I got class in the morning. Girl, don't worry about that. I was just about to make some stuff up. I was about to get into the role playing. But so those are things that you have to be careful about. It is very easy to lose focus. Tip number 3, stay focused. Whatever it takes for you to be able to make it from year 1 all the way to year 4, you need to do, including taking care of your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, and your sexual health. Getting your checkups, getting on birth control. If you decide that you want to have sex, you need to be taking care of your sexual health, and you need to be getting regularly checked up. You need to be on some type of protective method. And it's a choice, right? So I want to kind of talk about this real quick. It's your choice. It's your body. If you decide that, hey, I want to have sex, I want to get out here, I like him, he like me. Okay, that's a choice, right? Just as you're choosing to engage in sex, I want you to be very clear. Every choice that you have comes with a consequence. They're good and bad consequences. One of the consequences of sex, right, is everything else that comes with it. So I want you to be very mindful, and I want you to be careful, and I want you to be responsible. Be responsible, okay? In your decisions, in your choices, be responsible. Tip number 4, when it comes to sex, dating, relationships on college campuses, it's very important, and I talked briefly about it in tip number 3, but your mental health is really important. I work with a lot of college students that are really stressed out. They are in relationships while they're in school. It's not healthy. And there are a lot of red flags. So I want to talk about some of the red flags. Um, so when it comes to your mental and emotional health, this is tip number 4. It's taking care of it. And by taking care of your mental and emotional health when you're dating and in relationship, it looks like being mindful, being aware of some of the red flags that you are in a toxic, abusive, or an unhealthy relationship. Here are a few of them. If the person that you're dating is controlling. What do I mean when I say controlling? You can't go here. You can't go there. Why you want to go here? Why do you want to be with that person? Why you want to hang? So really isolative, right? They want to keep you all to themselves. Now, first it might be cute. Oh, he like me. Like he always want to spend time with me. I mean, he keep me trapped in his room. I'm laughing. It's not funny though, because I've seen it, right? Where it becomes very restrictive. It's one of the red flags. Abuse. Typically, it doesn't start with you getting popped in your face. It typically starts with comments, demeaning comments, right? You look fat, you look ugly. Or you notice that they're kind of jealous, right? Why is he looking at you? Bruh, I'm not controlling his eyes. Like, what you want me to do, right? Why are you looking at him? I'm not. He's the waiter. Like I got to look at the waiter to put my order in, right? So things like that, and then it kind of escalates, right, to maybe pushing, maybe taking things away. So those are some of the red flags that you need to look for or be aware of when you're in these relationships, especially as a freshman, right? Freshman, sophomore, this may be your first real relationship. And so you may not be aware of what it looks like to be in a healthy or unhealthy relationship. So your emotional and mental health is going to be really important. So if you're in these relationships and you find that you feel stressed, anxious, worried, most college campuses have resources. So there is a therapist, there's a counseling center, there's some type of support that you can get. And even if your school doesn't have it, if you have insurance, and most, students, if you have health insurance, like say through your parent or something like that, it will cover your therapy sessions. A lot of us are doing therapy virtually. So you don't even have to be in the office. You can do it, virtually. So that is tip number 4, which is to take care of your emotional and your mental health when you're on campus and in dating and relationship situations. That's going to be really key, because if you're stressed, depressed, anxious, then guess what happens? Your focus is off. Your eating, your appetite is off, your sleep is off. So now, when it's time for you to go into class and study and take tests and exams, you're not doing well because how can I? I was up all night fussing with my boyfriend. I was up all night in the ER because he blacked my eye, right? So things of that nature. So that's important, taking care of your mental and emotional health while you're on campus and dating and in those relationships. I'm going to the comments, and the only relationship you need to be in is with your studies. I want you to get to know them books. Everything else is extra curriculum. That is hilarious. I'm telling mine, ain't no damn relationship. Relationship is for after you knock down the first goal. That's important, right? So sometimes our students that are going on campus, they don't have someone. So for the students, and I'm going to put it to you like this, for our first generation students, right? There are some students, no one else in their family has ever been to college. So they're really navigating the scene on their own. And that's another reason why I wanted to do this particular live, just to prepare our students. Because this is new territory to them. This may be foreign to them. And so they may not be aware of what to look for or where even their focus should be. And so that part is important, right? So I would not suggest. Now, you have some people that were dating in high school and, they want to carry the relationship over while they're in college. It doesn't always work. So I just want you to know that as well. I'm not telling you to break up with your boyfriend. So if you are in college, I'm not telling you to break up with your high school boyfriend, but I do want you to be aware that there may be some challenges, um, especially if you're trying to do a long distance relationship. I work with couples, and that has always been a challenge trying to do these long distance relationships because you know how it is. You know how it is on campus. You looking around, you seeing all the deliciousness. So you already know your partner is doing the same thing. There is things out there. And college is a great place. You're going to create relationships. You are going to develop friendships. Some of them may blossom into marriages. I know a lot of people that went to college and they met their spouse there. So that's a tricky thing. Just keep in mind that it may not last, and it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Let's get that straight. It's not the end of the world. So you're there to study and to learn. Um, it's okay to date. I'm not telling you not to date. Now, this this man say he tell his daughter, don't you even think about it. But I do want you to be aware of some of the challenges when it comes to trying to date on college campus. Tip number 5, and this is going to be um, my final tip for the night. Tip number 5 is when it comes to, and this is dating, sex, relationships on college campuses. For those that are just tuning in, we are talking to our college aged men and women. Okay. And so this is, I want you to be mindful. So I was in a training today, and the training talked about, the lady asked us to think about 3 words that described us, and 3 words that we would want somebody to use to describe us if we were not in the room. I want you to think about when you're on college campuses, and this one is really important, is your reputation. Now I know y'all like, what the heck? What are we talking about? Like, I don't even know nobody. What reputation? Okay, let me tell you all about it. One of the biggest stressors that the college age students, well, I won't say one, but a stressor for some of the college age students, and mainly, now this is not fair, but this is just what it is. This mainly deals with our ladies. Okay, ladies. Now on college campuses, anything you do is going to get back around. Like, I just want you to know that, right? So any decision that you make, I want you to be very conscientious and intentional about your decisions, whether that's related to how you carry yourself, who and how many you decide to share your body with. Even if they say to you, even if your partners are saying to you, girl, this is going to stay between me and you, it never does. I have worked with a lot of women who have been severely depressed because they have connected with partners and it got around, word got around. I want y'all to be very safe. I want you to be responsible, but I want you to also think about how you want to come across, how you want to show up on campus. And not even just in campus, like I want you to even think outside of campus, like after you graduate, right? How do you want to show up in life? When you're not in the room, how do you want people to describe you? I thought that was so that was just that blew my mind, and I thought that was a really good, I won't say blew my mind, but that was important for us to ponder, to consider. And so for my college age students, this is for men and women, I want you to think about that, right? You are coming from high school onto college campus. You can be whoever you want to be. If high school was not the thing for you, like you didn't feel like you fit in, if you didn't feel like, people knew you or whatever, like college is a fresh start for you. You can be whoever you want to be. You can learn more about yourself, and you can decide to share the parts of you that you want to share. But you get to decide how you show up. And that part is it's empowering. I always want to share that because I want y'all to think about, how do I want to show up? How do I want to, what and how do I want to be known? What do I want to be known for? Do I want to be known as loosey goosey or whatever? Or like, what, you just think about it. Like, you get to decide that. If you're okay with that, I'm not judging you, do you? I just want you to be intentional, because when I work with my clients and they are dropping out because everywhere they go, they're feeling embarrassed, ashamed, people talking trash about them. The other thing, and this is just a sidebar and side piece, if you are having sex, I want you to be very mindful. Like, I need to scan the room. Like, I don't want y'all to be gullible. Like, I want y'all to know that there are people who will record. Now, this isn't everybody, ain't everybody's not twisted and crazy, but there are a lot of people out here who have had pictures, videos taken of them and shown around. So I want you to be mindful of that. When you're dealing with these individuals, I want you to be aware of your surroundings, including who are you drinking with, right? Um, if you don't know these people, yeah, I'm not drinking with you. Not in a bad way, but I need to be alert. I need to be oriented, and I need to be aware of my surroundings. I know y'all know the stories of the men and women that things have been slipped into their drinks, and then roofies, right? And then they wake up and they don't know what's happened to them. Some don't wake up. So I want y'all to be very mindful, very careful that, yes, you have all of this additional freedom. I want you to be responsible with it so that your college experience can be bomb.com, like it's going to be. It's going to be good. You're going to be learning a lot. You're going to get to meet a lot of people, and you're going to be safe and enjoy your time in college. You're not going to look back and feel embarrassed, feel guilty, feel whatever kind of way. For the men, I want you to think about the decisions that you make when you go onto these college campuses, right? I want you to think about your daughters, because you fit to have some daughters. And I want you to think about how you want somebody to treat your daughter. And I want you to engage with your queens on campus the same way you would want somebody to engage with your daughter. Same thing, vice versa. So I'll take it up. So you have these older ladies, right, that might like some fresh meat. Be aware that they may try to spit and kick game to you. Ain't nobody kicking game to no young boy. I'm just playing. But be aware, right? The other thing I think that's important for my men to know is you don't have to give yourself to anybody. Don't feel pressured to have sex. There's a lot of pressure that boys, guys, young men feel. Society puts pressure on guys to have sex. A lot of times it's before they're ready. I counsel, I do therapy, I coach men who really at young ages were taken advantage by grown women, right? But it's been normalized that that's the cool thing. Like, yeah, no, she was grown. That was no, that was not appropriate. So I want to kind of make sure that across the board, y'all recognize as well that your body is valuable. It's important. Um, and you get to decide who gets to share that. Like, you don't have to be giving that away willy-nilly. You shouldn't be giving it away willy-nilly. That you are valuable. Do you know what you hold in you? Yeah, everybody don't get to get that. The other thing I want you to think about before we end for tonight is, and this is for both my young men and my young women, when you decide to date, when you decide to have sex, recognize and keep in mind that whoever you are deciding to have sex with, if they are not parent material, meaning they are not, there's nothing about them say they're going to be a good mama, nothing about them say they're going to be a good father, don't have sex with them. Even if you use protection. You want to know why? Because even with protection, it's not 100%. Look on the box, look on the condom box, look on the birth control. It tells you that there is a percentage, there's a chance that you can still get pregnant. So I want you all to be very intentional. It's really on my heart to speak to our young people and let them know. I want you to be very intentional about how you're showing up, how you're presenting yourself, who you are sharing your preciousness with. Not everybody get to get that. You're valuable, you have importance, and you are more than your body. You are more than your body. And so we don't put emphasis on our body. Our body isn't us. We're more than our body. And it's time for us to recognize that, right? And to walk with the grace, with the queenliness or the kingliness that is you. Yeah. So you get to, I want us to shift our perspective on ourselves, on who we are. And I want our young people to begin walking into that. As you walk on these college campuses, no, everybody don't get to come up in your room. Everybody don't get to come up and get in some of your juiciness. No, everybody doesn't get to get that. Everybody doesn't get to see what you're working with. Right? That takes a level of confidence to be able to recognize your value and worth and not get sucked into everything that everybody else is doing. A lot of what you'll see on college campuses is everybody copying off everybody. It takes confidence and courage to walk to a different beat, to carry yourself differently. So I wanted to share that. Any questions? If you have questions, throw them in the comments. Don't throw them. Put them in the comments. Place them in the comments. Any questions or comments? Anything that I said that resonated? What did you wish that when you went on the college campus, someone had told you about? Thank you. Thank you. What's one thing that you wish maybe that someone had taken the time to kind of explain, talk to you about? What's one piece of advice that you would give? I only gave 5 tips. What would you say? Maybe what's a tip that you would give to our queens or to our kings? What would you say? What's one word of advice that you would give when it comes to sex, dating, relationships? The other thing is, you don't have to, and this is just a freebie, but you don't have to get into serious relationships very fast, very quick. Like, don't feel like, oh, I got to get booed up right away. How you getting booed up the first week? You haven't even gotten to see everybody that's on campus. You haven't got to see everybody. You haven't gotten to see all the selection that's out here. Don't get booed up real quick. I'm just trying to tell you. But don't feel the pressure to pair off real quick, right? Don't give into that pressure if you do feel that pressure. Get to know people, be friends with people, date. Dating is okay. You don't have to sleep with everybody you date with. So let's get that straight. But dating is okay. In college, you're getting to know more about you. So getting to know you, learning what you don't and what you do and don't like. All of that is important. As well as, again, the main focus is, of course, getting that education. So I don't even have to say that again. But dating in college, at the college age, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, you don't really know you. And so it is important to connect with people, find out, what it is that you like, don't like in your partner. Like, this is the time to do it. And so that's what I'm saying, trying to do a whole lot of seriousness and marriage and all. You don't know you just yet. I'm gonna go to the comments. I'd say most of these people you see are dumb as hell. So follow your own mind. Yes. Do not follow people or copy folks. Win on your own terms. Like, I think that is so important. Win on your own terms. And that's one of the things that even when I was in college, that's where I started to learn how to separate myself. Like, I was like, dang, y'all, that's how y'all chicks is crazy. Like, and then you would hear, so let me just say this really quick before we end. You're gonna get all kind of attention for one thing or the other. Just because you're getting attention, all attention is not good attention. I just want to put that out there. I've always been very close with guys. So the guys, they be talking and they be like, "Yeah, oh girl," and every single thing that the girls had done and the young ladies, they would put it right out there. Yeah, yo, she gave me head. Like, what? That's how she thinks she. So what I'm sharing, I know from experience, and I want to make sure that you're not the young lady that the fellas are talking about, right? Because they are going to give you attention. All attention isn't good attention. And for the young men, older ladies is talking. Now, we're a little bit more selective and discreet. But they are comparing notes. I just want you to know that. So if you think you talking to her and you trying to talk to her, oh, please know that they are fully aware of what you're trying to do. So it's about being intentional. It's about respecting yourself. So when it comes to sex, dating, and relationships on college campuses, I want our young people to be safe, be responsible. Remember, you don't know these people. You're just getting on campus. You don't know them. And even after you know them for a couple of months, you still don't know them. You just met them. So be responsible, be safe. If you're going to have sex, if you're going to be dating, make wise choices, be selective with your partners. Okay. And don't feel pressure to have sex. You don't have to have sex. You do. I don't know if I said that. You don't have to have sex. Everybody's not out here having sex. You don't have to. And it's okay if you don't. Just wanted to put that out there. But be responsible, be safe, take care of your emotional, your mental health. Get support, get therapy. There are support groups. Take care of that, right? If you're in a relationship and you feel like, man, it's time for this jank to end, this is unhealthy, do so. If you need support with ending a relationship, especially one that's abusive, reach out for support. On most college campuses, they have resource centers, they have the counseling centers. Reach out for those supports, utilize them. So I want y'all to be safe. I want y'all to be healthy. And like Richard said, I want you to win on your own terms. I have enjoyed my time with y'all. It's been another Relationship Friday. Share this with your college-aged students. I want you all to share this. Like our page, subscribe to our YouTube page, RDH Counseling and Consulting. We want to get our subscribers up. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified whenever we are going to go live. On Facebook. We're also on Instagram. Follow us there. Like our Instagram page. For our fellas, Tuesday, September the 12th at 7 p.m., we are starting our next men's healthy coping group. We'd love to see you there. And we are always looking for ways to support our men. Ladies, if you need some support, engaging in self-care, because we do. We take care of everybody else but ourselves. Reach out to us. We'll be starting our next self-care, healthy coping. I can't remember the date. It's going to be starting soon, though. So we'll be posting that. I want y'all to take care, be blessed, and have a great rest of your weekend. Let me get my y'all know I like to do my music as we go out. Bye. Y'all have a great rest of your time.